Greetings, everyone, and welcome to the Occult Think Tank. My name is Greg. In this video, I am going to be talking about how we are living in a dystopia. The world we are living in is a far cry from the world I was born into in the 1970s. However, even back then, the American people were the frog in the pot of water. We just didn't realize it. Over the decades, the heat has been gradually turned up, and now we are fully cooking alive in the dystopia future that should be a nightmare to everyone that values freedom. I'm not going to blow smoke up anyone's ass on this. We're fucked. I honestly don't think this can be turned around. We are well past the point of no return. It's only a matter of time until all of our freedoms are taken away with the illusion of security. I am still skeptical of the Illuminati. However, after reading their first testament of the Illuminati, I can honestly say, while it seems impossible for one group to control so much, the amount of evidence that can be seen in our world makes it very difficult to ignore the dark implications of what the possibility that it could in fact be true. In this, I'm going to point out just a few of the highlights that have happened to get us to the point where we're at. I'm probably only going to scratch the surface on just how deeply the grip of control is on us, but I hope what I do point out will be enough to wake people up to what is coming. I want to stress, I do not feel we can stop this. We are past the point of no return. So all we can do now is ride out the storm that is on the horizon. Oh, sure, in time I think humanity can overcome these tyrannical overlords that call themselves the Illuminati, but not in my lifetime, or in the lifetime of anyone reading this or listening to this. My biggest fear is for the young people that have so bought into the utopian delusion that so many of the socialist activists today are wanting to try and sell to people. Things weren't as bad as they wanted to make it out to be when the chaos of 2020 really hit in force. We had seen riots and so forth before, but not near to the level we did in 2020. It's entirely possible that the entire George Floyd death was planned. I'm not completely certain about this, but there are enough facts that have emerged to make me wonder if the entire event could have been staged to bring about the result that it did. The fact that people reacted before we knew even a fraction of the events that led up to it means we were reacting out of emotion, not reason, which actually fits something that was stated in the first testament of the Illuminati, and that is this: humans react before understanding the complete repercussions of their deeds, following instinct with little regard to what their actions might affect in 10, 100, or 1,000 years. In the case of George Floyd's death, people did just this, but the effects of those deeds didn't take even 10 years to manifest. It was immediate. Because of this, I do feel people were manipulated by some very bad people that were hiding behind the scenes, setting up events to unfold as they did. Remember, if these Illuminati actually do exist, they have been around for a long, long, long time and are playing a long-term game, not a short one we do with our individual lives. I don't think it's just an accident that they repeatedly use the term the human and the human species. I do suspect this is a subtle hint that whatever is behind them is not human and is completely a different species. I'm fully aware what I'm saying is getting very close to David Icke conspiracy theory ideas. However, I am not going by what David Icke says, but what is written in the book that is asserted as being from the Illuminati. I'm going by their own book, just like I go by the Jews and Christians' Bible when talking about their religious shit. I'm a firm believer in giving people enough rope to hang themselves. Nothing can show this better than quoting from their own words. This use of manipulating the public by social outrage didn't start with George Floyd. That was just one of the most notable in recent history. This tactic has been used since before I was born. I don't think even the 1960s civil rights issue were the first time the social outrage was employed, but I do feel these people were a lot more cautious in how they used it back then, because if they would have tried to raise the heat too fast, they risked the frog jumping out of the pot. So they needed to be very gradual in how they turned up the heat. I do suspect part of the long game of control was sped up with the introduction of personal computers. The idea of having computers not just a tool of the government but every person. The reason for this is found in the First Testament of the Illuminati. This isn't saying that it's gospel, but I don't want to ignore the possible admission of guilt. The invention of email is no coincidence, nor is the popularity of text messaging and social media. Their widespread use is the result of a complex operation authorized by the Illuminati to aid in the surveillance of the citizens we govern. Notice, this would mean the idea of a shadow government isn't just a conspiracy theory, but is actually based on reality. Think about it from the perspective of if you wanted to monitor what people were doing. Which is easier for you, to transcribe phone calls or for people to transcribe it all for you by typing out their messages? I also don't think it is an accident that young people are no longer being taught how to write in cursive, but rather that they use text messages and emails. This is just easier for people to read and write programs to track algorithms. Yes, it's also admitted in their book as well. Every computer, phone, communication tool is a device used to gather information about you. The implications of this, if true, are extremely disturbing. Yes, that would mean that everything I type, or every video I make, or podcast that I make, is added to the already existing file these assholes would have on me. Like I said, I do not see a way that we can stop what is coming. Only buckle up, it's going to be a hell of a ride. I'm sure you can see just how wide-reaching the implications of all this are if it is in fact true. When it comes to computers and cell phones, I would say the odds are far more likely than not that what is stated here is the truth. This would also mean that the invention of the internet was also part of their long-term plan. Sure, it would mean that we can communicate with each other easier, but it would also mean that they can shut someone up that said something that they didn't like or was having too much of an effect. They don't even need a person to monitor every message or video. They simply set up an algorithm that will pinpoint banned words or phrases and either pull your video or shut down your account on whatever social media you are on. This we have seen with Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, just to name three. I'm very much aware that Christians are using the term of the end times as if their Jesus is going to somehow come and save them for what is coming, or that some God is going to fly in like Superman and save the day. This is fantasy type of thinking, and while it may be good for fiction, there is no evidence of magical super beings existing in reality. Christians also like the idea of a rapture because it means they get to run away like the pussy bitches they really are before a fight. Never mind, these people want to talk all big and bad about how they're these warriors for Jesus or fighting Satan. But the truth of the matter is, they want to run away at the first sign of trouble. I call them the cowards for Christ, because cowards are what they actually are. Never mind, at no time in their damn Bible did their God ever magically whisk anyone away before they faced struggle. Not one damn time, yet these cowards think that is exactly what's going to happen for them. It would be cute if it wouldn't mean that these people will be of no use in opposing an Illuminati or some government control that could come in the future. They won't be any good to anyone because when push comes to shove, they will crawl under their bed and hide and cry to their Jesus instead of standing and fighting. Because if you fight, you could end up getting hurt, and these people are too scared of that. The rest of that can be read on my webpage, occultthinktank.com. I'm cutting what I had wrote where I did because if I would read any more, it would run the risk of being pulled by YouTube. And I already have a strike from the video that I had made yesterday. And if I would get another one, they would make it that I can't post videos for 2 weeks. So to avoid that nonsense, if you want to read the rest of this, simply go to my website, occultthinktank.com, and you can see not just this, but all of the blogs I have done. But feel free to leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section. Later, people.